What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Jigsaw's channel. I'm your host, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Like my red nose, I'm going to do today's video on how to start step by step and build step by step a web hosting provider. I still get questions on how to go ahead and start it as a business. And I know I have one or two videos going over it before, but today's video is going to be more detail oriented. In case you're wondering, I'm just getting over a cold, so if I sound congested, I know my nose is probably twice its size and red. I do apologize for that. So here we go. Step one in starting a web hosting business. You have to choose a name. ABC host, you have to, whatever name you want to choose for your host. I recommend you use something memorable. It was a fad where, because of HostGator, a lot of people would pick an animal, whatever, turkey host, dog host, tiger host, animal host, whatever host.com name. I recommend you choose something original. Only reason why I say that is because if you choose something that looks like you're trying to copy a larger established well-known web hosting provider, you're looking like a copycat host, and they're going to see you as trying to duplicate something that already exists rather than a host that's offering something in a niche that these larger host companies don't exist, which is what you want, because that's really the only reason why you're going to get clients. If not, everyone just goes to the big guys. So you have to pick a name that really resonates for what you do. So I would recommend spending some time on that and really thinking about it. Once you get your name, go ahead and register it. You're going to have to register it at a domain registrar. Plenty of them out there. You can either go with a separate one from the hosting company you're going to choose, or you can just do it all in one if you prefer the hosting company helping you manage everything. Obviously, I'm going to recommend Jixhost. That's Jixhost. But of course, you can really use any host/domain registrar of your choice. So now you thought of your name. You check to see if it's available through the registrar and or the host. If it's not available, and it's gonna happen because everyone, I'm gonna choose host.com. Well, that's great, but host.com, if that name ever does go up for sale because somebody owns it, you could probably expect to pay upwards of 6 up to 7 digits. So if your name is not available, the one that you choose, go ahead and think of another one. Most likely you're going to have a 2-word domain. All the dictionary word single domain registrations, they're taken. So you have your domain, you registered it. Now you need a reseller account. You don't want to go directly into getting a server because you're going to spend a lot of money per month when your business is essentially making zero. So get yourself a reseller account. Start with a small reseller account. You can go to jixhost.com, start off for $9.95 a month. Voila, you got a reseller account. Once you have your reseller account in your domain, the host will usually link them for you. Now when you type your domain, it'll take you to usually a start page on the web host. You're going to need a website. A lot of hosts have downloadable templates. I know Jixhost does. So you download a template, a web hosting template, which is essentially a website, cookie cutter website to start with. I know I started with a very simple one. I didn't have anything fancy. I had 3 options of web hosting types of accounts. And then below that, I had a PayPal subscribe button. So there was no merchant account, there was no backend CRM. It was just very simple. If you want to go more in depth, you can. There's a lot of CRMs, which is basically, if you don't know what a CRM is, it's basically back-end software that maintains a database of your customers, how much have they paid you and whatnot. It could even set up the accounts for you. Start off with a free one. You could always upgrade to the paid ones, which are a little more polished, a little bit better, but they cost money, and you don't want to be spending money when you're not receiving money, because you'll go quickly out of business. So yeah, now you have your domain, your web hosting account, and now your website. Great. You tailor your website, you put your little logo, you make a logo. There's a lot of free logo makers online. You set your pricing, and now you need a way to collect money. That's important, right? So how are you going to collect money? Cheapest and best way, PayPal account. If you're dealing with local clients or whatnot, it could be Zelle. Bitcoin is a great way to accept money. Multiple ways to accept money without spending money and opening a merchant account and the whole nine, which you could do all later on. I didn't start with a merchant account. There's no reason why you should either. Remember, the goal is not spending money. The goal is to basically grow your business as your business grows. Scale it up is what it's called. So figure out what your payments are. If it's going to be PayPal, put the little PayPal buttons. PayPal includes, if you go into PayPal, you can actually download buttons, pay me via PayPal, with a set dollar amount that you choose. So you create your little PayPal buttons. It's a code snippet. You put it on your website. If you don't know how to do it, just open up a support ticket with your host. Hopefully your host is nice enough to either tell you how to do it or do it for you. If not, go to Jigsaw. They certainly will. Once you have that, now you're great. You have your storefront or your website up. You have a way to collect payments. You have your reseller account now, which is, you can think of it as an apartment building with a bunch of empty apartments. You're in business. You're ready to go. So now the next step, how are you going to get your customers? You got to fill those apartments with tenants or customers that keep paying you month after month. Again, start with the free way. You can always go with the paid way. Free ways are making YouTube videos like you're watching today. You could post in web forums. You could create blogs, which, believe it or not, still works. Word of mouth. You could solicit locally, even though I've never done that, but I heard it is quite lucrative, because when you're selling online versus selling face-to-face, online you got to be a little bit cheaper than when you're face-to-face, but you got to get out there and work it if you want to do face-to-face, whereas online you just can sit behind a computer and type away. I don't have much experience with the YouTube bit, even though I do see this channel growing. It's getting quite popular, and I have received business from it. I used to post in forums. One of the largest web hosting forums is called Web Hosting Talk. I don't know how many thousands of posts I have on there, but I haven't been active in its community because I feel the public is changing. How everything is changing, the public is changing how they like to see things. People want more of an experience, and they feel reading it just on a page, a black and white page, they're not getting a feel other than the choice of wording used. They're expecting more. Back then everything was websites every day. Now people are wanting intuition. They're wanting apps on their phones. They want it less work the better. So when they see a video, oh, okay, this is who they are. This is what they look like. This is what they sound like. It gives more subliminal information than everything what I'm telling you today if I were to just type it up on a board or forum and put it that way. So create your YouTube videos. I do recommend it. post in web forums, just do free things. I think I've even once posted on Craigslist in the free boards, but I don't know if I really got anything from it. I've tried a lot of things, and some things worked and some things didn't. I'm only going to tell you the things that have worked and are continuing to work. So once you do those activities, you should start getting inquiries. Brings up another point, excuse me. How your customers are going to contact you. For years, we had a chat service on our website, but what I felt was, even though unless you're prepared to really staff it 24/7, you're better off just having a little help me icon that either relays an email or through your CRM if you're choosing to have one. Getting back to where I was talking about now. Once you have your marketing, you should start getting accounts, and you will. It might take a couple weeks, a week or two to get your first one, second one, but prior to that, you're going to get a lot of people kicking your tires. And what I mean by kicking your tires is that they're going to be asking you questions. They're going to send you an email, and they're going to see how long it takes for you to reply. They're going to ask you silly questions, how much bandwidth, how fast is it, what's the configuration of your server, how big is your company, they're going to ask. I've had a few of those. They're going to ask just questions, and the reality is they're not so worried about your answer. They're worried if you're going to answer, because they want to see if somebody's home, or not somebody's home, if somebody's in their business. And number two, they want to see how long it takes. If someone submits a question to you and you answer it a week later, I promise you, you're not going to get any accounts. But if you get a question and you answer it an hour, 2 hours, couple hours later, they're going to ask you another question. And they might ask you a question in the middle of the night, your time, because maybe you're getting this question from 7 time zones away. They're going to see how long it takes. 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Once they feel comfortable, because they want to know if they're having a problem, if they submit a question or support ticket to you, the new host, they want to be sure, excuse me, cold. They want to be sure that they're going to get assistance before they invest their money in you and their time loading websites onto your server and whatnot. So first couple weeks, you're going to get these tire kickers. Some of them are going to choose to host with you, and they're going to go ahead and buy. You're going to receive a payment. You're going to feel excited, and you're going to create their account. You're going to create it. We use cPanel. Even though they raised their pricing, I still think it's the best control panel by far. So you're going to create their account. You're going to send them their links to log in. You're going to send them their passwords, a username. Congratulations, you have your first client. Then you're going to get your second and your third and fourth, and you're going to grow. And eventually, you're going to need to upgrade your reseller plan, which is great because you could scale. And then from there, once you go to the largest reseller plan, if you continue to grow, then you can opt to go to a VPS, which is basically a section of a server. I did that for a very, very short time. When I started, it took a few months for me to grow out of a reseller account. I went into a VPS, and I ended up growing out of that VPS in less than 3 months. So as soon as I transferred all my clients from the reseller account I had onto this VPS, I had to transfer them again out of that VPS onto a server. So as you scale up through your VPS, and the VPS is a little bit more expensive than a reseller account. From there, you could scale up to a server, and then 2 servers and 3 servers and whatnot. Problems that you're going to encounter in web hosting, there will be problems. You will have some nights where you're going to pull out your hair. Hell, it's, in my case, I no longer have hair, so I guess it's a good thing, right? you're going to encounter problems. And some of these problems, the biggest problem you're going to have is once you start having clients, number one, you have to be careful where you don't put too many clients on a VPS or a server, because then the more clients you squish onto this VPS or server, the more downtime you're going to have. Unfortunately, you're going to have issues where you'll have users that'll overuse resources, tend to crash your server, or their website will be attacked. Usually gaming sites, they get attacked. I try not to host those types of sites. I suggest you shouldn't either. Because when they do get attacked, they bring down your complete server or VPS. And then you have to find out of the hundreds of sites, perhaps thousands on some of the larger servers, you have to see which one is receiving the attack. And if they're all on the same IP address, it's a tough job. Because you'll have a lot of people calling you saying, hey, I'm offline, I need to get back online ASAP. And you're going to feel the stress and pressure because you don't want to lose these customers, because not only are they paying for your servers, but they're also paying you your income. What else can I tell you about step-by-step hosting? That is kind of like, in a nutshell, what it is to start step-by-step a web hosting business. Now, things you're going to want to do when you grow, when your business is already, you're filling up your first server. Because when you first start into a server, you have this big server payment. Excuse me, I got to take a drink. And I certainly apologize for that. Before I get back into it, all my videos are unedited, unscripted. It's just what I'm thinking comes out, so I'm not going to edit it out or anything. Anyways, once you're starting into the server size of a host where you're filling up a server, there's a couple things you're going to want to do to further perpetuate your growth. One, you're going to want to start advertising. Google AdWords does give me business, but it's not cheap. But you have to keep your, bidding per keyword low. And what I mean by low, bidding for your keywords should really be, as a small host just starting out, no more than a quarter, 30 cents per click. No more. Keep your budget $300 a month-ish. Something like that. Very important. But don't do it right away. Do it after you're already established. As you grow, you can increase that budget and get more exposure. Just be very careful. Make sure you're getting a return on your investment. Other things you're going to want to do as you grow, you're going to want to be sure you have a CRM. One of the biggest CRMs is WHMCS. It's a paid one. It's what we use, and it's probably going to be something you're going to want to use once you start having, once your clients start getting well into, over 40, 50 clients, you should be using a good CRM. Another thing you're going to want to do is make sure your website is polished. Maybe upgrade your website, get something a little more refined, looks a little more professional, looks more invested into, and whatnot. Another thing you may want to do is, as you grow, you're going to want to invest in your infrastructure a little bit. What I mean by that, whichever data center you're going to be in, you're going to want to take advantage, if they offer it, some managed services that may have. And what I mean by that is, it's almost like having a staff but not having a staff. So that's going to help you out a lot. You'll pay a few dollars for it, but if you're big enough, it's certainly worth it, because hiring an employee, especially in this country, United States, is very, very expensive. I don't recommend you do it. So take advantage of that, what they have in the data center. I know some of you might be asking, well, what about these outsourcing services? What about these, online services? I've used a team. I hired a team. Can't remember the name. This was years ago. They handled all the chats. And unfortunately, the quality just was not there. It was a lot of, thank you so much for waiting. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. But when somebody needed an issue, a technical question, something, they couldn't answer it. So stay away from those. In my experience, it didn't pay for itself. Can't remember if I was paying $600 or $1,000 a month for it. And they handled all the chats, and it was just one chat after another, but it was actually scaring away customers rather than helping, because people are wanting, even though it was instantaneous service, which was great, the quality wasn't there. And when you offer a customer either quality or speed, they're always going to prefer quality, even though they're going to want both, and they're not going to want to pay for it. It's one or the other. So you're going to have to either choose quality or speed, and go with quality. Your customers will not leave you. They may complain, oh, how come you don't have chats? How come it takes 3 hours to get a response? Just make sure that response is a good response, not 1-2 words, a complete response, meaning how the issue was resolved, not just we fixed it. You could say we corrected the issue. This was the reason. They love it. They're going to love that. So that's what I mean by quality. Aside from that, that's kind of the gist of building and maintaining and growing a web hosting provider. Obviously, if you continue to grow and grow and grow, you're going to have staff, but that's even beyond my successes through web hosting, even though I feel I've done quite well with it. I just never got to, the stars with it. I did well. I made a living with it. Pays all my bills, but it's, I'm not a millionaire. I don't have a yacht. But if you do open a web hosting provider and you do get to that level, I would certainly appreciate you make a YouTube video to show people like me how to get there. Anyways, today's video was a little bit longer. Normally my videos run about 6 minutes. Today's video is certainly longer than that. Wow, 23 minutes. Long video. I hope I provided some insight for you. I know you're going to have a million questions because they always come up when you're building a business. Post them down below. I answer every question. So, and the reason why I want you to post them down below and not, DM me directly is because I want others to learn from it. And that's important. The whole idea of these videos is not to sell anything or not to gain anything, but as a medium for people like you guys to learn the business if you so choose you want to get into it. Because when I got into it in 2008, I had to learn it the hard way. And boy, I learned the hard way. It was a good way to learn, but it wasn't fun. I did have some hair back then, though. Anyways, not that you guys care. Thank you so much for watching my video today. Again, please like and subscribe. I certainly appreciate that. And if you have any questions, again, just post them down below. I'll be happy to reply to them, answer them completely. And have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye.